And with the ongoing language war, Kamal Haasan, actor, has now entered into this controversy and, of course, the war of words that continues over this language issue. Kamal Haasan has said, I quote him here, pan-India films have universal appeal. So Kamal Haasan there also stating his view, and now he has said, and we'll hear, of course, what exactly the actor has said, but primarily that pan-India films have an universal appeal. Remember, the past few days, the ongoing language war about the Hindi film industry, about should it be called Bollywood, should it be called the Indian film industry, and this specifically when many southern film stars had said all attention cannot be going to the Hindi film industry, while Telugu, Malayalam cinema, Tamil cinema also has made some very incredible films. Kamal Haasan says pan-India concept is not new, and taking a very interesting stand here, he's saying that the films need to be pan-India, and that is when they can have universal appeal, and it will not be about north and south primarily here. Now the actor, remember, has been vocal in the past as well, and has this time said that primarily this new coinage that has come, the pan-India, it is not new, because classics such as the Mughal-e-Azam, Chemeen films were also popular despite languages, and were popular across the country, did not have a language barrier, because eventually the films were good. Remember, at this point the pan-India concept question was put to him, to which Haasan, who has worked over 200 movies, and that, remember, not just in Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam or Kannada cinema, but he has worked actively in Hindi films as well. And therefore he has said that the success of a pan-India project depends on its universal appeal and the quality of filmmaking, thereby suggesting that if a film is good, the language barrier will not be a concern. When you pan for gold, I quote him here, when he was asked a question on this issue, he said, when you pan for gold, you pan for new words, coinages. But pan-India has always been there. It's not a new word now to be questioned. He was actually speaking at a promotional event of his upcoming film Vikram, which is directed by Lokesh Sethupathi. But he was asked this question, and he said even Shantaramji did pan-India film. Padosan, remember, that has been a legendary classic Hindi film, is a pan-India film. Mahmood ji almost spoke Tamil in the film. What do you call Mughal-e-Azam? It is a pan-India film also. It's nothing new. Our country is unique. Unlike America, we speak different languages, but we are all united. That is the beauty of this country. I just add more here to what Kamal Haasan has said. We will always be making pan-India films depending on how good and universal the film is. It will be accepted. Everyone would like to then watch it, whether it's Chemeen, a Malayalam film that was a pan-India. They didn't even dub it. There were no subtitles. And yet people across speaking different languages have watched. So a very important comment coming in from Kamal Haasan, and stating that let's not get into this north-south divide or a language war here, because eventually films that are made well, and if it is a pan-India film that's always been there, it will be accepted by the watchers. So we'll try and get you the latest on that. Remember, how did it begin? Just recently, while of course the debate has been going for a very long time, Ajay Devgan and Sudeep got into a war of words, or whether it is the Hindi language that has more significance, whether it's Telugu, Tamil, should one language get any sort of specific Indian language appeal, or should it be for all languages to have an equal status in the country? While the debate was on, more actors from both sides decided to jump in, but Kamal Haasan, who has been, of course, a legend and a veteran in his own right, has now said pan-India is not a new coinage. It's already been there. It's just a new term that has surfaced. But if a film is good, if a film is made well, it will be accepted. He's also giving examples, whether it's, of course, Shantaram, the late director who's made some incredible films, whether it is the classic Padosan, where he said Mahmood ji in it almost did speak the Tamil language in a Hindi film. What about Mughal-e-Azam, that has been known and been popular for decades now? It was a pan-India film for him. And therefore, this pan-India issue is nothing new. But he's made a very interesting comparison. He says, unlike America, we speak different languages here in India, but we are all still united, and that is the beauty of India. That is the beauty of this country. So eventually it will depend on how good and universal the appeal, the storyline of the film is, how well it has made. So So finally, Kamal Haasan, also speaking on this big issue, has jumped into this debate of language war and has said, let's not get into new terms. Pan-India films have always been there, have been legendary classics, whether it's the Malayalam film Chemmeen or whether it is Mughal-e-Azam, whether it is Padosan. All of these films, if well made, have been accepted, whether in the northern states of the country or the southern states, and irrespective of the language barriers. Remember, Kamal Haasan himself has worked across films across India and has ensured over 200 films, whether it's Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Hindi or even Bengali films in which Kamal Haasan has acted in, has now spoken up finally on this issue. So we'll try and get your reporter to exactly hear what Kamal Haasan has said and if there are more quotes that have come. So he was asked a question, Kamal Haasan, at a gathering. He was basically promoting an event of his own upcoming film, Vikram, which is directed by Lokesh Sethupathi. And when he was asked this question, very categorical, he said, Pan-India is just a new term. Pramod Madhav is now joining me on same. Pramod, that's a very interesting comment by Kamal Haasan because he's not taking a side here of either the north or the south, so to say. He's stating if a film has a pan-India appeal, will be accepted. What else did he say? What exactly did Kamal Haasan say? Take us through.
Well, the interesting aspect here is that when it comes to Tamil Nadu, Bollywood in particular, Kamal Haasan is coined by the term called as Ulaga Nayagan, which means world hero. That's how he used to call himself because he apparently had this pan-India idea whenever he shot a movie, and that's the reason he brought in any kind of like technological aspect into that one, and that's what he's trying to reflect in his comments here as well. Pan-India coinage, he claims it's to be a new one, and it's been all the time, and he's quoting movies like Chemmeen, that is a Malayalam movie, and that's how he's trying to express his views here.
If you can also tell us, because at this point you think this sort of wraps up or concludes the language war debate, because he tries to be putting the tension down and he's saying eventually it will be about a good film, and have the reactions come in already, and for Kamal Haasan to be saying this is going to be heard across languages and across states because he's worked not specific to any one film industry in India.
Well, that is true because just like you mentioned, Kamal Haasan makes sure that at least in recent times his movies comes in various languages, and he has already been a pioneer of this aspect also because earlier, like we said, when it comes to technical specificality, he used to bring in everything. In fact, in Bollywood, there is a kind of a special follow for Kamal for his technical aspect itself. In fact, when the movie Tenet was released, it was said that that particular way of acting where the reverse acting was shown in the movie Tenet of Christopher Nolan was already depicted with one of Kamal Haasan's movie's song, Manmada Leelai, and that's how it has been related so far, and this is where his comment becomes very interesting.
Keep tracking all the latest on that. Kamal Haasan wades into the language war, says pan-India films have universal appeal. Don't give this a new coinage. It's not new. There have been different films and different languages. We're not like America. We speak different languages, and that is the beauty, that we are still so united, and language barrier will not work if a film has been good. And he is now referring to examples as here. We are going to stay on this story. Very interesting. We'll try and get more reactions as well from our reporters on the ground. What are celebrities stating across film industries? Heading into a very short break, Nabila at 5 p.m.